Hello everyone, welcome to the Media Guide channel on YouTube. My name is Scott, and I'm trying to watch 366 movies this year. It's going all right. Let's talk about 3 more of them. Class Action Park is a documentary film about Action Park, a theme park that was opened in the late 70s in New Jersey. It was the brainchild of a single man without an engineering degree, and it was notorious for being a little dangerous. Okay, a lot dangerous. This theme park was the basis of Action Point, the Johnny Knoxville film we saw a couple episodes ago, which wasn't very good. But this film, for the most part, was pretty good. It lays out Action Park the way you would walk through it. So it goes ride by ride through the park, while at the same time going through the genesis of the park and the stages it went through as it was operating. They talked to the people who owned it, they talked to the people that were there, the kids that operated these attractions, the kids that sometimes tested the attractions. Like I said, the guy didn't have an engineering degree, so he tested a lot of these rides on people who worked at the park. And they were notoriously badly designed, which was part of the appeal of going to the park in the first place. So the movie goes along and it's entertaining and it has this sort of, can you believe this happened type of feel to it, which has to change at a certain point because people did die. So the movie has to shift tone at that point in time where it talks about the deaths, and they talk to one of the families who had a child die at this park. He was a teenager, and it gets very grim and very sad, as it should. This family trusted this guy to keep their kid safe and did not do so. And the transition between those two tones is done well. What it doesn't do as well is getting out of that tone, because it tries to strike that can you believe this happened sort of tone at the end of the film also. It doesn't quite pull it off. It tries to have its cake and eat it too by having both of those tones be on screen simultaneously, and the final shot of the movie is a drone shot of this family going to mourn their lost son as the drone pulls out and hard rock music playing. It doesn't quite fit. So for the most part, the film was well done. It does have some stumbles along the way, but if you don't know anything about this park, it's going to be surprising for you. The Post is directed by Steven Spielberg. It stars Tom Hanks and Meryl Streep, who I guess I didn't realize has never acted for Steven Spielberg before. Guess I never saw the forest for the trees on that one. But this is the story of the Washington Post uncovering the Pentagon Papers. And for those of you who don't know, the Pentagon Papers were a series of documents written by the United States government about the country's involvement in the Vietnam War. Basically, that the government knew the costs of the war, knew the war wasn't going very well. And the uncovering of these documents would be a huge political scandal for multiple administrations, but most notably Richard Nixon's administration. So the movie is about the smaller paper, the Washington Post, racing to get the story right and out first before their competitor, the New York Times. Tom Hanks plays the Washington Post's editor-in-chief. Meryl Streep plays the newly acquired owner of the paper, and it kind of has the same feel as a movie like Spotlight, although I like Spotlight a lot better. I think the main downfall of The Post for me is that Spielberg makes an attempt, it seems, throughout the film to tie these events to current-day political events. And in tying these events to current-day political events, the movie might not age as well down the road. There are places in this movie where I thought that Spielberg was trying so hard to make a point about today's climate that he lost the story a little bit. But it's a well-acted movie. Hanks and Streep are going to be great, you know that. But the second-tier characters are really well orchestrated. A lot of comedic actors and comedians playing serious roles. You got Bob Odenkirk, you have David Cross. They're both great in the movie. Spielberg's very good with putting character actors into roles that they will pop out on the screen at you. And The Post is a solid film, if not super memorable or super exciting. Oh boy, Downsizing. It's a film directed by Alexander Payne and starring Matt Damon. And back when theaters were open, I saw the trailer for this movie a lot. And the way they marketed this movie was interesting to me because I thought to myself, what is the narrative conflict here? The early trailers for the film really focused on the shrinking aspect of the storyline. And that is the main plot to the film, that they have developed a way to be eco-friendly by shrinking yourself down to being about 5 inches tall and living your life with more money because you're smaller and having a smaller impact on the environment. And while those early trailers focused on that plot point, there didn't seem to be any conflict happening in any of the trailers. And then there were a few trailers later in the cycle where they revealed that Matt Damon's wife, played by Kristen Wiig, while initially wanting to go through the process, which is irreversible, decides not to go through with it, and then asks for a divorce. And then I thought to myself, aha, narrative conflict. But no, he gets over that relatively quickly. The narrative conflict in this movie is that there isn't any. I could speak for hours about how this movie fails. I described it to somebody at work as being a and then movie. It has the narrative structure of a 2-year-old child trying to tell you a story. And then this happened, and then this happened, and then this happened, and then this happened. It's just a series of plot beats that happen to Matt Damon's character, and he has almost no say in what happens to his life. Until the very end where he does, and then the movie has a very nihilistic viewpoint about his decision-making process. It has this circular logic that makes you think, oh, he made this decision for this reason, but then this thing was said, and then this thing was said, and then. The movie is a mess, and I get some of their points, but it never congealed for me. It just seemed like a set of ideas that had no structure and no purpose. And that is it for this episode of 366 2020. Have you seen any of these movies? I will see you down in comments, and I will see you guys on the next episode. Thanks for watching.